Welcome to KerbalSpaceProgram. This is Zerieth. Today we're going to be launching Jebediah and this great big rocket into outer space. So today we're just going to be covering the actual launching of the rocket in KerbalSpaceProgram. We have some Mr. Good containers, a 3-stage rocket with the initial boosters, then a secondary booster after they've been decoupled, then our final booster, which will hopefully put us into a relatively stable orbit before we eventually separate that and come back to land. So without further ado, let's throttle up and launch. SAS on, so we don't flip over. There we go. So what the SAS module does is it prevents us from going all over the place. It keeps the rocket in a relatively straight direction at wherever you point it on the wheel. Now, I think we might be leaning anyways, though. Dear, I think we're actually leaning. There really isn't anything I can do about it either. If the SAS can't fix it, I can't fix it. It looks like these thrusters will have finished their stage before we end in tears. And hopefully it'll fix itself after we let go of them. Oh yeah, that's much better. It's very difficult to get the thrust rate on these rockets. Sometimes you end up doing the whole leaning thing. And I have actually had a rocket nosedive no matter how much I tried to fix it. So, in any case, looks like we're out of the woods. We're going relatively straight. Jebediah looks absolutely thrilled. We're going to outer space. We've hit a relatively high mileage, but we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going straight up. Because in order to set up an orbit, we have to be pretty far up off the ground. Let's get our turn started, because I think this will be high enough. Or I could be wrong. I have honestly only ever gotten one orbit before this in career mode, so we're just going to have to see. So let's add our first maneuver right here. And we're going to try to extend this arc into an actual orbit. And that doesn't look like an orbit. That doesn't work either. Let's try and bring it around. That's a bit better. Looks good on this side. Oh, that's not good. That's very not good. That's a long freaking orbit. We're going to go with it. Because we don't have enough time before we hit the apogee. After we hit that point, I've discovered it is impossible to do anything except just land again. Now, where are you going, rocket? We don't want to go that way. Come on. Come on. Almost there. Bugger it, we're just going to go for it. We'll get something relatively close to what the maneuver showed us, with any luck. And as you can see, I'm flickering the SAS. As it gets closer and closer to the mark, I turn it off and turn it on again to relock the point. So then even if I overshoot, we'll still bring it back to where I was, so I don't have to completely start over. Let's get some data while we're up here. Now I could put Jebediah EVA, but for that we'd have to slow the rocket down. So we're not going to try to do that. But we are going to get a report from him. And we are going to transmit it back because we won't lose anything by doing that. I've discovered it's always useful to keep a transmitter on your rocket, because otherwise you can only save one crew report. or one of any report on any of your science modules, which can be a bit of a pain if you want to get more science out of a trip. But the mystery goo doesn't seem to pay off. It's only 40% of whatever it is you manage to get, which is pretty crap. And science does tend to go down in value as you try to do something. Oh, what are you doing, rocket? Stop it. Stop it. Whoa. I did not do that with the camera. The game did that to the camera. Looks really cool, this game. I like how realistic it is. And, well, it looks like we managed to do what we set out to do. Yeah, we've got that ridiculously long... Wait a minute. Why is it going back down? Were we not high enough? Get rid of that. And... we weren't high enough. Okay. I thought we were miles in the air. I guess we weren't. Well, I don't have enough fuel to get out of that orbit anyways, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. And the music cut in. That was really crazy. Well, yeah, I guess we're gonna land whether we like it or not. Let's just get rid of the rest of this fuel, I think. It's slowing down this orbit a tad more. And that is it. We are all out of fuel. We're just gonna have to wait. Now, if we were in an orbit and we ran out of fuel, you could probably imagine how bad that would be, because we would never get back out again. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen anyways, because we are going to crash into the planet again as our orbit decays ever further. So this can happen sometimes. The maneuver will just show you what it will look like the second your thrust is over. It won't show you the after effects of gravity and all that, which I think is pretty cool that this game actually has those kinds of aspects to it. We're going to get another bit of science out of our mystery goo containers. And we're going to speed... oh, throttle. Okay, we're going to speed things up a tad, so we don't have to sit here for hours waiting for it to come back. That's a bit better. And there. Now let's prepare for re-entry back to Kerbin. Get rid of that stage. Bye-bye. Angle for re-entry. And here we go. I haven't actually had anything explode during re-entry, but I'm sure that's a thing. There are times where I want to actually purposely have catastrophic failures so I could see what will cause them to happen and therefore avoid them in the future. I'm very strange like that. And Jebediah is happy to be home. I think he hasn't stopped smiling on this entire trip. Can we get a crew report? Oh no, we don't want to overwrite that report. This one might not be worth as much. Now, if I wanted to get more science, I could go EVA and get a soil sample, but seeing as how we were not going to make that little island like I was secretly hoping, we're just going to splash down and recover. That's probably what we're going to do. I think we're getting low enough to start launching our parachute. I'm going to let it go a little bit more though. There we go. That's a bit better. Now, as we get closer to the ground, our parachute should catch us and prevent us from a catastrophic death into the ocean. Because going at the speed we're traveling, crashing into the ocean would be the equivalent of crashing into the ground. It would be a very painful process. I apologize for my Skype going off. My friends won't stop bugging me even though I told them I'd be busy. There we go. Now it's going to take 10 years to get back to the ground, so we're probably going to speed this up as well. That was essentially it. We managed to make it into a kind of an orbit. We did go around the planet. We did do that much. We might not have gotten much else, but we did get around the planet. We did get some science. Speed things up. And any second now we'll have splashdown. Here we go. Excellent. We finished our trip. So, as I said before, I could EVA. I could try to get a crew report done. It probably wouldn't end well. I can't transmit any more my crew reports because I don't have any engines to get power with. So let's just recover our ship. And it will take us to this screen, which shows us all the science we managed to gather. Which is actually a fair bit, considering that this didn't go as planned. We're going to save all of that. Hopefully unlock something pretty cool for next time. This has been Zerieth. Thank you for watching.